What's up, everyone? Happy Football Friday. It's actually nice out in Milwaukee for once until tomorrow when there's more snow coming, which is great for late March. Good to
Or
have Danny back on the show. What's up, man? How's it going?
hey, before we get started, I got a little surprise, and I'm wearing something that you might talk about a little bit. I got this hint. I'll give you a hint of what I'm wearing. I mean, I think you can kind of tell by now, but I got this on the day that Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee show last week, Wednesday, and I made an impulsive purchase, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run, hopefully. But here.
There you go. Mr. Love.
Yeah.
The next
Ready for the 2023 season. Oh man.
Yeah.
Excited. Moving on to the next big thing in Green Bay.
Yeah, like I mentioned, we talked to Rodgers on Monday or Tuesday there with our other resident Packers fan, Logan. So won't be talking Rodgers today unless something goes down during the show.
I gotta show this to Logan when I see him next in Eckstein.
Yeah. But we do have a whole host of stuff to go through here. We got a trade that went down this week in between the shows. Pretty high picks, day 2 picks, moving teams there. And we got some NFL news. And then, we're still running through some signings, some lower level signings getting done this week as we move on and into pro day season and approach the NFL draft late April. We also got XFL week 6, which I'm excited about. We're starting the playoff push, second half of the season for the XFL. There's only one team that's undefeated. I think it's these guys right here.
How ratings been for the XFL this year?
Great. Great. The ratings have been really good, and the turnout have also been very excellent.
I just worry with what happening during March Madness and then the World Baseball Classic. So, I mean, obviously, avid football fans like you, Rusty, are going to be watching it every week. So, as long as it's bringing in the avid football fans, I think it's going to continue to do really well.
Yeah, we will see. But let's talk about this trade to start off. So I was kind of surprised the level of picks that were involved with this one. The Cleveland Browns acquiring wide receiver Elijah Moore and a 2023 third-round pick from the Jets. That's number 74 overall. For a 2023 second-round pick, that's number 42 overall. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Jets easily win this trade right now anyways. They even out, actually. Elijah Moore was a second-round pick. They get a second-round pick back for him. Obviously, they got to send a third. But this moves Cleveland. Now they're not picking till the third round. 74 will be their first selection, I believe. I'd have to recheck my my draft book that I have, but I don't really like the picks for Cleveland, but I understand why they did it. They needed to do something to try to get help for Amari Cooper at the wide receiver position.
I know you're thinking of it as, on the Brown side of why they're doing this, but I'm thinking about Jets and what, this means in the long run for them. I mean, they just got Nicole Hardman, right? Or am I?
Yeah, we'll talk about
that. Yeah, they got Nicole Hardman. They got Alan Lazard. They have Garrett Wilson, of course, who's amazing. They got the second-round pick for Elijah Moore. I think it's going to be used in the trade for Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm thinking that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, who knows right now? But like, I mean, to get a second round pick, I mean, I know the Packers are hoping for something even more than that. I would assume that they would want a first, but if they can get multiple second rounds, maybe even like a third or something, or a fourth, I think that's good compensation for them.
Yeah, and confirmed that this is now the Browns' first pick. So moving their first pick in the draft down 42 spots is I don't get the Browns thing on a guy that really has not produced to the level of a second round pick so far in his career anyways.
Yeah.
Next thing up here, the Commanders have a new potential buyer, Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos. I absolutely love. I want him to buy the team. So almost every show I can mention Steve Apostolopoulos because I would just love to
Great
do
name.
that.
Great name.
So he is 3.9 billion net worth. Owns the founder of the third group, I believe is what it's called. I can't recall the exact name of his business, but yeah. So now we have him. We have Josh Harris, and I forget who Josh Harris is partnered with. And there's also one more person, but I can't remember who that was. That is in the running. And this news comes at an important time because next week we have the NFL owners meetings in Phoenix. Could possibly see a Commanders sale happen next week, I think, if the owners approve it. It's just who is it? That's the thing. Oh, okay. So Magic Johnson also joined the Mitchell Rails and Josh Harris group. So I think those are the only two. Apostolopoulos is the founder of Six Ventures Inc., private equity venture fund in Toronto.
Okay.
But he's a smart dude, Harvard grad. So anyways.
I mean, if it works out.
Yeah. The former Raiders tight end, Foster Moreau, bad news for him. He was on a visit with the New Orleans Saints trying to find a new place to play. And good on the Saints, though. They found he has Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, yeah.
So he is out for the season, going to undergo treatment for that. And hoping the best for Foster Moreau. But, yeah, this is the third time, dude, the Saints medical staff has found potential life-threatening complications. They found a heart condition with Nick Fairley in 2017, and also in 2017 they found out John Dorenbos had a aneurysm as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma is nothing short of serious. So prayers up for him. Eric Berry dealt with it, of course, in the early 2010s, and hopefully the same result where you can overcome it, come back, and have one hell of a career.
Yeah, and this is the second year in a row now. We are getting a kind of cancer diagnosis early on. We had John Mechie last year, Sat out his entire rookie season. I wish the NFL, kind of going all Metsy though, a little bit more. I wish the NFL with that rookie thing, I wish they would do it like most other leagues. Well, I don't know. I only know how the NHL does it. I don't know how the NBA or MLB does it. I think the MLB does it like the NHL, where it's games, number of games played. I kind of wish the NFL would do that. I kind of wish you could vest your rookie contract and kind of slide it a year. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Because, like now John Mechie isn't going to get a chance, even though he probably wouldn't have won the offensive rookie of the year, but you never know. How about the Cowboys running back Tony Pollard? He signed his franchise tag, $10.091 million owed this season. Now him and the team have until July 17th to negotiate a long-term deal. He's the first one, I believe. I haven't heard anything on all the other franchised guys to sign his tag. So we'll see if they can get a deal done or not by July. And his former running mate there, former Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott, he has narrowed down his list of teams. It's a wish list, not teams that he has actually been in negotiation with so far. But he would like to go to either the Eagles, the Jets, or the Bengals.
Or the Packers. Okay.
And, the Eagles have done this before. They signed DeMarco Murray bunch of years ago.
And then what? He dropped from the face of the earth.
He didn't do that well. I should have worn my DeMarco. I have a DeMarco Murray Eagles jersey, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, he just wants a ring. That's what Zeke wants to do at this point. And
yeah.
The Eagles and Bengals, yes, are in contention. The Jets, as much as they think they're going to be in contention with Aaron Rodgers, they will not.
No.
Just my point of view, anyways.
Yeah, I have the same opinion. I don't think they will. They might be a playoff team, but I don't think they're Super Bowl bound.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the Eagles, I could see them doing it, though, eventually, if it's the right price for Howie, because they do need a, like, pounder. They don't really have a big back with Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott. None of those three is really a guy that can hammer in between the tackles. I mean, Penny probably could.
Yeah.
Zeke is a bona fide goal line back at this point in his career, so that'd be a good option to have, especially, I mean, you think if you have Zeke and you have Jalen Hurts inside the 10-yard line, like, who are you going to try to stop? So, yeah, I think, I would be okay with it at this point.
For the right price, probably.
Yeah. Like somewhere along the lines of 1 year, like $4 million or less than that, I would be okay with that. And I mentioned the NFL owners meeting. One of the things they will be talking about next week is Thursday night football, possibly flexing games into Thursday night football like they do with Sunday night. Teams would get 15 days notice if their game was getting shifted to Thursday night. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, with Thursday night, was it much of a success this past year? I know people were complaining about, was it Al Michaels people were complaining about the announcers. And, Thursday night is good. I mean, it's a good way to start the week or the weekend, getting some football in, but,
yeah.
Are they going to move in like matchups that are not going to be as watched as others? Like, like if it was like, I don't know, the Raiders versus the Browns or something like that. I don't know, but
Well, I think last year Thursday night got the short end of the stick on some of their games, though.
yeah, they did.
Some of the games preseason looked really good. But
Yeah.
like they had the Broncos on one of them. It's like, bro, Russell Wilson sucked last year. Like, can't help that. Unless you flex a different game in, like you can probably if the owners vote on it and approve it. I just don't. I like Thursday night. Obviously, I like all football games, but
I'm
I
just
hate,
thinking about like the
I hate
average
that it's on
fan.
Prime. I hate that it's on Prime. I hate that it's on any streaming. I hate streaming.
Yeah.
I'm a boomer. Give me the cable.
I mean, they can do both. I don't see why they wouldn't maybe do that, but
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. One more draft visit. I mentioned Bijan Robinson was in Philly a couple of days ago. Now another top prospect in Philadelphia for a visit. Iowa edge rusher Lucas Van Ness taking a top 30 visit there. So yeah, I'm excited. Those are the two of the guys that I've heard of to Philly. Bijan at 30 and Van Ness at 10. So yeah, I'm okay with that one. We mentioned Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson. He had arthroscopic right knee surgery following the season. Should be good to go for OTAs. That was not the surgery that I thought he was having. I thought he was going to have shoulder surgery, but right knee surgery instead. So we'll see if that helps Russ or not. One cap move to make note of, the Jags. They restructured defensive lineman Foley Fadukasi's deal, converting $7.375 million of his base salary into a signing bonus. They also added 3 void years to the end of his deal to help spread the dead cap once he is done with his contract. $5.9 million in cap savings for the Jags, getting some moving room there, breathing room. Couple of releases, couple kickers getting canned. The Bucks and Panthers, they released couple kickers. Ryan Suckup from the Bucks, Zane Gonzalez from the Panthers. Gonzalez injured last year, lost his starting job to Eddie Pinheiro. Now healthy, hopefully looking to sign elsewhere. Packers need a kicker, don't they?
I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with Crosby. I don't know. I mean, he's getting old.
Sucks and he's old.
What?
He's old and he sucks.
Yeah, he's getting older. I mean, he can easily retire right now, and everything will be okay. I mean, Packer Nation loves him, but I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. He's saying anything. So
the couple let's go to re-signings and extensions. We got one extension. It's a big one. The Eagles signed right tackle Lane Johnson to a 1-year, $33.445 million extension. $30 million guaranteed. He's now under contract through 2026. Save them $10 million in the cap space. Get some more room for Philly. They, Howie loves the bargain bin dollar store shopping at the second and third waves of free agency. So, and that's what he's been doing. We'll talk about some of the deals he got done on our signings, but yeah, I like that. Lane Johnson, best right tackle in the league. So
yeah, it's great signing.
I mentioned Eddie Pinheiro. The Panthers re-signed him to a 2-year deal. Really good. 33 of 35 last year. Excellent season in Carolina. Happy to have Eddie back in Charlotte there. Couple other re-signings. The Browns re-signing linebacker Anthony Walker on a 1-year deal. He visited with the Commanders, ends up going back to Cleveland, though. Pivotal part of their second level on the defense. And then the Jets, they re-signed running back Ty Johnson on a 1-year deal. Third running back there in New York, good special teamer as well. Now let's get to the free agent signings here. The Jets, you mentioned it, signed running. I don't know why I put running back. Wide receiver, Mecole Hardman, 1 year, $6.5 million max deal. Yeah, I mean, I've never been a Mecole fan, even though he is a Georgia Bulldog, but sure. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Mecole though. So.
I mean, it's another weapon for Rodgers. I mean, I think that's what they're really trying to do is build up the weapons that he could have. So that's probably why Elliott's so interested in being a Jet, is because knowing that Rodgers is coming, knowing that there's a chance that, they could really succeed this year, but I don't think so. But anyways, yeah, I think that's what the Jets are preparing for is, they know they're getting Rodgers, and obviously it's, comes down to what the compensation will be, but it's building up those targets for him.
The Ravens signing a couple Patriots here. They signed Patriots corner Jalen Mills, 1 year, $6.1 million deal. I think that's really great contract for Jalen at this point in the calendar. To get the 6.1, that's pretty solid. And a guy that played solidly, pretty good in New England, but like I mentioned on Monday or Tuesday when we said he was visiting Baltimore, Jalen Mills hasn't been his best since his Philly days. So, yeah. And then the Ravens also got a wide receiver for whoever's going to play quarterback. Wide receiver Nelson Aguilar from New England, 1 year, $3.25 million deal. Yeah, I mean, sure. Nelson just hasn't been as good as since that Raiders season 2 years ago. So,
speaking of the Ravens, did you see that memo that they sent out about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. Is whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't put it on here because
okay.
I didn't really have thoughts. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The Raiders bolstering their tight end depth. They got OJ Howard from Houston. Now they go back to the AFC South. They signed Titans tight end Austin Hooper. 1 year, $2.75 million, $3.5 million max value. I like that. I like that combo there in Vegas. Hooper and Howard. I think they'll do some good stuff for Josh McDaniels in that offense with Jimmy G.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good player to replace Waller.
Yeah. They're doing like a committee approach at tight end at this point. The Texans, they signed Raiders linebacker Denzel Perriman on a 1-year deal. D'Amico Ryans, getting his defensive guys. So Perriman, a journeyman, but pretty solid player there. The Jags, they signed a Browns running back Dearness Johnson on a 1-year deal. Dearness Johnson's just been weird because last year I thought someone was going to get him on a restricted free agent deal, especially because I think the Browns tendered him last year at a original round tender and he was undrafted, so no team would have had to pay the Browns draft compensation to sign him last year, but no one did. He stayed in Cleveland and now he's on a 1-year deal. He's still looking for his chance. Obviously, he won't really get it with Jacksonville, trying to take whatever reps he can get behind ETN there.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers love this. Love these next three, actually. The Panthers, they signed Lions wide receiver DJ Chark on a 1-year deal. Absolutely love that. They've been bolstering their offense with Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen, Hayden Hurst, and now they get DJ Chark, another good veteran receiver that whoever they draft will be able to lean on in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I'll be good. Excited for that. See that.
The Eagles, they keep working on their safety room. They signed Steelers safety Terrell Edmonds on a 1-year deal. Love that. Also, started a bunch of games as a former first-round pick in Pittsburgh. Going to be a solid player, I think, for Philly this year, trying to get that long-term deal next offseason for him. And then the Browns, they signed Seahawks wide receiver Marquise Goodwin on a 1-year deal. Big speedster. Had a great season as a third wide receiver in Seattle last year for Geno Smith. And I think Deshaun Watson's going to love throwing deep to him if they can kind of open that offense up in Cleveland. So, yeah, now you got Cooper, Moore, and Goodwin there as your top three. I think that's a pretty good mix and match because you can put Goodwin and Cooper out wide, and then you got Moore in the slot. I think Cleveland's done a pretty decent job of bolstering their receiving core this offseason. The Bears, they signed Titans linebacker Dylan Cole. Pretty good depth piece behind their Tremaine Edmonds there now in Chicago, and TJ Edwards as well. So he's going to be a good depth piece on defense and a core special teams player for them. And then the Broncos expected to sign Saints wide receiver Marquez Callaway. Sean Payton connection, obviously, had some good seasons under Payton, hoping to do that the same thing in Denver. And it makes sense also. I don't know if this is correlated or not, but we were hearing that the Broncos were looking to trade a wide receiver, whether that be Sutton, Judy, or Hamler. So we're just waiting to see which one they trade, and maybe Callaway is kind of there to kind of lessen the fall of receiver talent once they trade one of those guys. And then a couple of visits here. The Jags. How about this one? The Jags hosting Ravens defensive lineman Calais Campbell. Wants to play a 16th season. Could he possibly go back home to Jacksonville, where he was a stud for most of his career before going to Baltimore? So, yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see Calais Campbell back in Jacksonville just because he's not on the Ravens anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville has a bright future, so that'd be a good spot for him.
And then the Eagles, they hosted Bucks linebacker Keanu Neal, safety linebacker hybrid Neal is. Yeah, I like that one. Eagles need some linebacker help. They haven't signed really anyone. They signed Nicholas Morrow last week. But, yeah, I think Neal would be a decent signing, kind of older player, but could possibly mentor some of their young guys like Nakobe Dean that's going to be a starter next year. Pick standings here, XFL. Logan got us last week. He lone wolfed the Arlington Renegades, I believe. Or maybe it was the Vegas Vipers. I cannot recall. He he lone wolfed the Arlington Renegades last week, beating the San Antonio Brahmas. They actually got a back-to-back. They were in San Antonio. Arlington won, and now they're going to Arlington this week. And we'll see if San Antonio can get revenge. But yeah, Logan got us on that one. He's now tied with Mark at the top, 15-4. I am 14-5, staying one back of the lead. So yeah, it wasn't a good week last week. That includes our picks from 2 weeks ago when we didn't have a Friday show too. So in case anyone was wondering, you know, all the millions of followers that we have, right? So here we go. Week 6 XFL starting off tomorrow. We got a doubleheader tomorrow, one on Sunday, one on Monday. We have Monday Night Football XFL style this week, which I'm hyped about because my team is playing, and it's probably the biggest game of the season. Sea Dragons, Seattle at Orlando Guardians here. The Sea Dragons are 9.5-point favorites. I stayed away from this game in my weekly XFL parlay. The 9.5 was too much. Orlando has been just snake bitten the last couple of weeks. They have improved a lot, and so has Paxton Lynch. From all the flack that people give Paxton Lynch, he has improved. Unfortunately, though, he did lose his starting job. Quentin Dormady came in for him in the second drive last week against Vegas, played extremely well. They lost that game by 3. 2 weeks ago, they lost to I can't remember if 2 weeks ago was the Arlington game. No, 2 weeks ago they got smashed. Never mind. 3 weeks ago though, they lost the Arlington game by 1 point, 10-9. And then the other 3 games weren't really close, but I think the Guardians have been improving. I'm interested to see if Quentin Dormady, this should be another high scoring game, I think. But yeah, we like the Sea Dragons. They're clicking on all cylinders, 3 wins in a row right now. Quarterback Ben DiNucci and Ja'Cour Pearson at wide receiver. That combo is just killing people. So we're going with Seattle on the road.
I'll take it too. But I wouldn't go as high as 9.5 points.
Yeah, it's tough on the road to win by 10, but I could see it happening. The Guardians do have the worst defense in the league. But yeah, they give up like 24 points a game, I think, something like that. So the total is 42.5, and that's actually the second highest one. I think I'm going to go over. Like I mentioned, the Guardians are the worst defense in the league. Dormady has looked better Dormady looked pretty good last week for Orlando. So, and Seattle's kind of middle of the pack defensively. So I think I'm going to go over 42.5. 1 p.m. on ABC tomorrow. The night game tomorrow, the St. Louis Battlehawks at the Vegas Vipers. We are in lockstep again. We're on St. Louis. I did all money line this week. So I have 3 of the 4 games, and I picked the favorites. The Battlehawks, though, AJ McCarron playing very well, wasn't able to get the comeback last week against my defenders in St. Louis. So gonna have a revenge game, gonna go up against Vegas in their little rodeo field that they have there in Vegas, Cashman Field. But yeah, I just think the Vegas defense is really, or the St. Louis defense is really good. And Louis Perez, I don't think we'll be able to get this one done, even though they're at home.
Yeah, I'd take the Battlehawks too.
Total, this one's the highest of the weekend, kind of surprisingly, 44.5. I like the under. I'll probably be wrong because I have been wrong on totals all season. But I'm rolling with the under. I just think both defenses are kind of in the middle, and I don't know. I just like the under. 7 p.m. FX and ESPN Plus. Now remember, Danny, these times are Eastern.
Yeah.
You gotta
Oh,
you gotta
so
make sure.
Monday. So Monday, you gotta sprint home after class.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll be watching it during class. Um, yeah. So the Sunday game, the Brahmas, San Antonio at Arlington Renegades here. Renegades 3-point favorites at home. Again, I mentioned this is a back-to-back situation. They played last week. Arlington won 12-10. It has not been pretty at all with Kyle Sloter at the helm for Arlington the last two games, but they're winning. And I mentioned this when we did the recap of this game on Tuesday, and I was just like, dude, if I was Bob Stoops, like, I'd have to think about going back to Drew Plitt, because at least with Plitt, yeah, they lost 2 out of the first 3 games, but they also were scoring more than they were the last 2 games. So I don't know. I think they have to the 3 games with Kyle Sloter, they've scored 10 points, 11 points, and 12 points. So they're improving.
Yeah.
1 point a game each week. Maybe they'll score 13 and win this one this week. But I still like Arlington. The defense for the Renegades is very good. And on the Brahma side, if Reed Sinnett would not have gotten hurt last week, I think San Antonio would have won that game. Jack Cohn played absolutely terribly, threw 2 interceptions. And Jack Cohn is not that guy. So by default, I'm going with Arlington.
That's agree. Jack is not the guy.
Yeah. I feel bad though. I love Hines Ward, dude, and he doesn't have a quarterback. Actually, though, they did. I don't know if Jack Cohn's going to start this game. They did just trade the Houston Roughnecks. They traded Drew Lewis, one of their linebackers, for Kurt Bankert, who you should know.
Hey, yeah.
As a former Packers quarterback.
That'd be cool. See him at the home.
So yeah, Kurt Bankert, I don't know if he's playing or if he's going to start. I don't know. So the quarterback situation is kind of up in the air with San Antonio. If Bankert would start or play in this game, I might shift to San Antonio depending on how he looks.
All right.
Could be a live bet situation for this one. Got to monitor those live lines on San Antonio. Total is 33. I'm going with the under. That's really low. But these teams just played a 22-point game last weekend, 12-10. So I think both defenses are going to play well again, especially Arlington. Under 33, I think, is the play. 3 p.m. ABC and ESPN Plus on Sunday. Monday Night Football. Yes, it's back, y'all. It's back. Roughnecks. Houston Roughnecks at the DC Defenders. And like I said, this is the game of the season. For sure. Now, I might have said that when DC played St. Louis twice, but no. This is the top team from each division. DC in the North Division, Houston in the South Division. This is the game, and it's at the spot, Audi Field in DC. Absolutely electric. The beer snake will be long, and there will not be lemons thrown on the field, I think, anyways. Maybe. I cannot guarantee. But of course, I'm going with my DC Defenders, Mark and Logan. I kind of was surprised Logan agreed. I get why, though. This is kind of why Mark slid over to my side as well, because Houston losing to Seattle last week by 7. It was tough. They're on the road again, and without Jontre Kirkland, their number 1 wide receiver, out for the rest of the season with a chest injury, their offense didn't look the same once he went out. He only played one he only got one target last week, didn't complete it, and then was injured after that. But yeah, they got to figure it out at the wide receiver position for Houston. Maybe that means running the ball more with Max Borghi and Dejoun Lee and Bryson Allen. But DC's defense is absolutely outstanding. Michael Joseph has 3 interceptions, 4 interceptions, I think. Two of those interceptions are for touchdowns, and their running attack on offense is also electric. Abram Smith ran for 218 yards last week and is outpacing the league by far. He has over 400 yards rushing. The next guy only has 255. So, yeah, everything points to DC for me. I don't know about the 2.5. I took money line. Brandon Silvers and Wade Phillips, they're going to give him a shot, and I think it's going to be a close game. But go Defenders 6-0.
I can see that. Yeah.
The total for this one, 42. That's a tricky number because it depends on if DC is getting explosive runs like they did against St. Louis last week, or if they're churning out runs. So yeah, that's a tough one. If I had to guess, I'd go over. But I would probably not play anything with that. 7 p.m. ESPN 2 national television game on Monday. And that is it. I haven't gotten any Rodgers trade on the timeline.
Neither have I.
Yeah. So that's it. That is the show for today. Don't forget, next week we'll be talking XFL Week 7. We'll have XFL game previews. Probably get some news from the NFL owners meetings as well. But don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcasts on Instagram and Twitter, FAA_bets on Twitter, and then FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Again, Danny, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And we will see everyone back on Tuesday.
All right. Have a good weekend.